In the open field, buffeted by the autumn wind, the silence lasted only a moment before the roar of small engines from the sky shattered it. A Ukrainian assault UAV unit launched a deadly precision strike using the latest generation of FPV drones, hunting every movement of Russian infantry troops attempting to cross in light vehicles. Under the watchful eye of operators from the Ukrainian UAV Brigade, the drone cameras captured the enemy convoy of ATVs, motorcycles, and pickup trucks, attempting to penetrate the open road without any natural cover. In the sky, Ukrainian electronic surveillance was ready to lock onto their targets, and one by one, the FPV drones rocketed at high speed, piercing the air like guided missiles. Within seconds, the first explosion shook the ground, destroying the enemy ATVs that had been their initial targets. Black smoke billowed, followed by panicked screams and futile attempts by Russian troops to seek cover. With nowhere to hide, every vehicle attempting to flee quickly became a hotspot on the operator's monitors. Not only that, an enemy dirt bike turning around was struck by a second drone, exploding into a cinder in the open field. From a drone camera, it was seen before the enemy convoy had time to react, a third drone was already in the air, its next target being two Russian soldiers trying to escape on a dirt bike on the right flank of the formation. They scattered, hoping to escape the Ukrainian electronic surveillance. But the thermal cameras and FPV visual guidance system had already locked onto them. The drone dived sharply, turning rapidly to follow the motorcycle's zigzag movements through the weeds. In a flash, a third explosion struck directly behind the vehicle, a fireball blazing in the open field, leaving nothing but dust and metal fragments. It doesn't stop there. In the distance, Ukrainian operators were chasing a fleeing Russian pickup truck loaded with 3 or 4 panicked infantrymen. They increased speed, thinking the long distance would save them. But the Ukrainian operators had already prepared a 4th FPV, programmed to chase to the finish. The drone flew low, approaching from the opposite direction to avoid being detected by its engine. Camera shake visible as the operators adjusted their course. And then, a massive explosion shook the ground. The enemy pickup truck exploded, bouncing several meters before coming to a halt in flames. In an instant, the explosion marked the end of the entire convoy, and nothing remained. Only smoke, debris, and silence descended upon the field. The entire enemy convoy was reduced to rubble and flames. The last drone circled the sky, recording the utter devastation of an operation executed with impeccable discipline and precision. This operation confirmed the supremacy of Ukrainian UAVs on the front lines. The technology, speed, and precision of aerial strategy were deadly weapons for any invader attempting to move under Ukrainian skies. In Kupiansk axis, Russia's offensive against Kupiansk has turned into one of the greatest disasters of the war. A grinding campaign that devours entire brigades yet yields no meaningful gains. The fact that these fruitless but bloody efforts happen under the command of a general who was once a Ukrainian officer has started raising dreadful suspicion in the Russian ranks. Since being pushed back after the Ukrainian counteroffensive in late 2022, Russian armies have hurled themselves against Ukrainian defenses on several axes near Kupiansk, but each of these has become a graveyard for Russian troops. Near Sinkivka, armored columns once tried to break through, but Ukrainian counterattacks and artillery fire forced most of them back. The forest belts remain littered with destroyed vehicles and dead Russians. while Ukrainian Special Forces raids keep Russian troops pinned down. To the south, near Pyshane, the Russian attempt to split Ukrainian forces in two has turned into a killing zone through the infamous funnel. Here, Russians pour infantry into a narrow corridor, only to be slaughtered by Ukrainian artillery, FPV drones, and ambushes from three sides. Every attempt to widen the corridor has collapsed, leaving Russian units undersupplied, exhausted, and easy prey. North of Kupiansk, in the Russian bridgehead, Russian troops did seize Dvorichna after months of attritional assaults, but the prize turned out to be hollow. Armored vehicles cannot cross the Oskil and support an advance, and Ukrainian firepower blocks any further breakout. The result is a static bridgehead, where infantry is fed in and destroyed with no prospect of operational success, despite some advances to the southwest, with most Russian soldiers being cut down as they attempt to move into the town. In all, Russia has spent 22 months, at least 2 combined arms armies, and 13,000 soldiers in the Kupiansk direction for nothing but blood and ashes. Ukrainian artillery, aviation, and drones strike not only the front lines, but also logistics hubs behind them, with extended supply lines further choking Russia's offensive. What was supposed to be a swift advance to threaten Kharkiv Oblast and eliminate the major Ukrainian bridgehead east of the Oskil River has turned into a drawn-out massacre, with casualties mounting each day. Defector General Storozhenko at the center of suspicion, this disaster has fueled a strange speculation. Could the Russian commander of this offensive, Lieutenant General Serhiy Storozhenko, in fact be Ukraine's best spy? Storozhenko was once a decorated Ukrainian officer, the commander of the 36th Marine Brigade. But during the Russian takeover of Crimea in 2014, he defected, and witnesses recall how he encouraged his men to surrender weapons and side with Russia, though he later claimed he had simply resigned. A week after the phony referendum that followed up, he received a Russian passport and soon headed a new brigade for the enemy. By 2022, he commanded the 35th Army in the Kharkiv region, which suffered a humiliating collapse at Izium. Instead of punishment, he was promoted to lieutenant general in 2023 after whitewashing several post-operation reports and given command of the Russian 6th Army, which is now being bled to death outside Kupiansk. Under Storozhenko's watch, Russian losses are truly catastrophic. His 6th Army has repeatedly been thrown into frontal assaults that Ukrainians describe as senseless meat attacks. Casualties have skyrocketed so much since the start of the Kupiansk offensive that some Russian analysts whisper about deliberate sabotage. His track record reinforces the suspicion. Defeats at Izium, stalemate in Kursk, and now a complete disaster at Kupiansk. Ukrainians joke that if he is not their spy, he might as well still be connected to the Ukrainian military, because it is strange for a Russian commander to inflict this amount of damage on his own forces with such